No sound. Ha! What the heck?
Well, someone's got the TV on.
Oh, you know what?
Hang on.
No, it's still not coming up. It's playing. It's playing. Wait a second. No.
Where's
professionals?
Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Go into it. I'll check it for the outro.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, hang on. Back. Yeah, share. And guys, we're on live. It's been a couple weeks, 3 weeks. Week 18 NFL is what we're on schedule for. And I am the sports nerd. We don't have a music intro. Something happened the last 2 weeks where
you do now.
What's that?
I say we do now.
He found it.
You found it.
2, 1. Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampant. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd Right.
Well, that was the usual auspicious beginning to our show that we experience every week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Same results.
It's not a job. It's an adventure.
Correct. Yeah, we don't get paid for this crap. Are you kidding me? No one would pay us. Anyway, Happy New Year, Nerd Nation. We are back after our 2-week hiatus for the holidays. And Seattle just won the game. Anyway.
They did, yes.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Welp.
The most inept Super Bowl champion of all time.
The Rams, yes.
12 losses.
Yes. After a Super Bowl, 5 and 12 after going
in history.
Yep.
You know what?
Sean McVay is second
you know
guessing.
why? Because there were frauds all along.
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of like the Tennessee Titans last year. And this year, too, for that matter. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, sorry, we're live. Sorry, we're live. Sorry.
Let's start with the elephant in the room. Monday night, this past week. I didn't see the hit. I actually turned it on as they were towards the end of what was going on. It's my understanding the hit wasn't that massive. It wasn't that severe.
It looked like something that happens every week.
Yeah, it was a solid hit, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like
no, it wasn't a malicious
like he got
hit.
popped. Like
yeah,
he engaged the contact to T. Higgins, so like it was a solid hit. But he hit him, like it wasn't like a a little wussy little hit. Like there was some contact, but it wasn't
it was like
ooh,
intersecting at one time in the wrong place at the wrong time. A freak accident, a freak of nature accident. Because, like I said, that hit has happened pretty much in every game and every.
Yeah, well, it says that your cardiac rhythm has to be at a certain point in its process in order for something like that to occur. It has to be hit just at that right moment.
Yeah, between beats, perhaps. I have no idea.
I don't know.
How that works. But he got up like nothing happened. He stood up. It looked like everything, and then all of a sudden he just fell back.
Yeah, he just dropped. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so the first thing, like I thought, was like, oh, he got a concussion or something. He's woozy, kind of like Tua this year. We know when he got up and kind of. So that's what I'm thinking, But when you really knew something was wrong is when they panned it on Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, and they're literally
the tears.
in
Yeah,
tears.
Dude.
And it's funny because, well, not funny, but it was me and my mom went into Edmonton to watch the game on Monday night, and we went and got Matthew. So we it was me, my son, and my mom. We're all at the sports bar watching this, and dude, like, sports bars are not quiet places.
Oh no.
You could hear a pin drop when like people literally were sitting there for a good fit, even after the ambulance left the stadium. Like no one felt like eating. No one felt like, it was just the eeriest. You'll always it's kind of one of those moments. You'll always remember where you were and But I mean, yeah. Well. We'll get into this later, I'm sure, but yeah, it was definitely.
John, you never hear me say this, but prayers up for Demar Hamlin. Prayers up, big time. The dude has made a remarkable recovery. I mean, granted, he's still got a long way to go, but he's been chatting with his teammates. He's been smiling on FaceTime with his teammates.
He's been on Twitter all day today.
Yeah,
he
just
has. all day today. Tweet.
They showed a shot of him smiling, and
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was crazy when he woke up. He's like, "Did we win?"
I know. Such a football thing to say. Yeah.
And a lot of people that I've talked to, they're like, "Well, he'll probably never play again," and I'm like, "I don't think you know Demar Hamlin."
Right.
Yeah.
If that kid could do anything to get back on the field,
well, he's going to do whatever he can to get back on the field. I mean, whether it be next season or the season after. I mean, depending on his recovery. And again, he does have a long road.
He does.
And just the relief that we saw today in the games that as a result of what he had been going through all week, and then to have him be able to have the tube removed so he can breathe on his own. He still has issues with his lungs, but for the most part, he is on the way to recovery, and he has not. The important thing is he lost no neurological damage.
No,
in other words,
he's neurologically sound.
Correct.
Dude, that was my biggest worry. Like, they resuscitated.
When your heart stops, it goes off into your brain, and
like how long is it?
Fizzing on you, yeah.
Well, kudos to the Bills medical staff for
Denny Hellington, his name is.
Yeah, he went in there and brought that.
He assessed it right away. There was another one that got the helmet off, and then Denny went in right away and started performing CPR and got his heart going again.
Yeah.
Well,
they had to reset him twice. Once on the field and once in the hospital.
Yeah, it stopped the second time at the hospital, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, it's just you feel like all I'm thinking about is that because they said like his parents are in the stadium. It's like, oh man.
Well, his mom rode with him in the ambulance to the hospital.
They all did. His mom and dad, I think, both did. But like, just that feeling, so. Dude, prayers work, man. I don't, I think that might have converted
this week, John. I can't disagree with
bro,
you on that.
I'm telling you, it might have converted some atheists, because that was a power of prayer in full.
Well, not just that, but even Demar himself said, "Look, when you put positive out into the world, it comes back to you." And he's probably one of the most positive and giving people, because his story has come out.
The donations to his
insane
foundation,
$2,500 is what he was looking for.
And he's over $8 million now.
Yeah. It's insane.
And we're getting donations from everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
And it's really, because you're a Browns fan, you're a Niners fan, I'm a Bills fan. We have this inept hatred for different franchises. You just have this detest for other franchises. But to see everyone come together this week, like all franchises
were one.
Yeah. There was like I was liking, God forgive me, I was liking Patriots posts this week. What? Like, that doesn't happen, and it's I don't know, man. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster. It's weird because I you know me, and he didn't pass away, thank God. But the only time I've ever felt like this emotion towards like an athlete or someone famous was when Kobe passed away. Like that really hit me. But other than that, like I'm not trying to take anything away from someone passing or something. But I don't know these. It's like it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
I know,
man.
I know many teams, and mine was one of them. Converted their logos into Buffalo colors.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know,
Well, the Buccaneers lit their stadium up in red and blue down here too.
Yeah. And
So the
I'm gonna
Browns.
tell you what, the class that Cincinnati showed.
Oh,
their
heck
fans,
yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to the
man.
hospital, having a vigil outside the hospital.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, the head coach's wife was bringing in food for the families.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
In the hospital.
Well, I mean, so Harrison Phillips, who used to be one of our defensive linemen last year, he went to he free agent signing with the Vikings. He went and bought like dinner for all of the staff that was the on the floor for in the trauma unit. Like, I mean, it was amazing to see. And yeah, Brett, like, yeah, Steph was trying to get in. Apparently, someone stopped him from going in. He got stopped.
Security guards. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
and then one of the reporters from ESPN came up and said, "Hey, you know who this is?"
yeah. So, dude, it was like it's crazy because it's like, let's be honest, guys. Happy endings like this are very rare.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they're rare. So it's like when things like this, that's stupidity, Brett.
But what Brett just posted, I was going to mention, with all this, people coming together and being positive, we did find out the true nature of some assholes out there.
I can't believe they blame Pete. Yeah.
Bart
Skip
Scott.
Bayless. Yeah, Bart Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
They showed who they really are.
Well, we've always known what Skip Bayless was, Elliot, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Shannon Sharp was none too happy about it.
Oh, dude, I thought Shannon was going to punch him in the face, man.
Well, hell, what's his face on Fox NFL?
They wanted to.
What's his face on Fox NFL blasted Skip Bayless today. Blasted him.
T.O. was the first one that they showed a response on Twitter.
Yeah, T.O. was, and that must hurt Skip. All these old school legends of the Cowboys lore, like ripping into him.
But he didn't want to retract it either.
Yeah, I know.
It was Strahan. It was Strahan that ripped him. Yeah, it was Strahan that ripped him today on the Fox pregame show.
This is what I don't get. Brett said, people had the nerve to blame Higgins. Like, Higgins didn't initiate the contact. So I don't know how you could possibly. How could you have done that?
It was Bart Scott.
Blame T. Higgins for it?
He said that because T. Higgins lowered his helmet, that's why Hamlin got injured.
It was to
T. Higgins was actually protecting himself from Hamlin.
Correct. It was to shelter himself from the hit, pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get too political, but people, as soon as this happened, the anti-COVID, anti-vaxxers jumped up on it, and it's funny because me, I'm not anti-vax, I'm anti shoving it down your throat. I've always been that way. But the last thing I was thinking when that happened, it was so weird. Like, I was just like, no, they're not going to flip this into a vaccine thing, are they? And they did.
They did.
Which is interesting. But like the last thing I was thinking when that happened, and me, I'm not a fan of the vax at all. But like, that was I don't know, man. I mean, like you said, Elliot, it was a freak accident, man. It happened, and the reason, and sorry, Scott, plug your ears, man. There's a reason why that young man did not pass away, and it's the quick thinking of the staff and a whole lot of this all week. And
John, I told you,
goodwill,
power of prayer.
Goodwill,
I mean, I believed in it this week. Okay, I'm not the most faith-based person in the world, as you may know, but everybody. I mean, everywhere. I mean, Christ. What's his face from ESPN?
Dan Orlovsky.
Orlovsky prayed live on TV.
Yeah, I know. Like who would have saw that happening? you know, was that in your card for 2023? You know,
No,
like,
it wasn't.
you know.
I mean, honestly, I mean, as commissioner, because I mean, you know, on the flip side, it turned the football world and the fantasy football world upside down.
Yep. Yes, it did. Yep.
Inside out, basically. And the one thing that I had to shut down in my league was people immediately. So what's going to happen now? What's going to happen with the champ?
Right.
You know what's going to happen now? I'm not going to talk about this shit until we know what condition this guy is in.
Yeah.
Because right now, football, fantasy, all that bullshit don't mean a fucking thing. Okay.
You know what? That was in my fantasy league too. That was the consensus right away. Like we were all like, we'll wait. Like make sure this kid's okay, and then figure out what the NFL is going to do. You know, and it sucked. And you know, like I ended up winning my league, but the guy I was going against, I told him, I said, bro, like you want to split this 50-50? I have no problem doing it because like I was up. And I won by the scoring, but it was so weird. Like we didn't know what was going on. It was kind of this.
You both had Bills and Bengals players that night.
Both of us, yeah. He had Tyler Bass, left to go, and then I had Devin Singletary and Dawson Knox for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Dawson Knox and Devin Singletary didn't get any points, and then Tyler Bass got the 3 points, but I was still up by like 3 points or something. Yeah. So the league called it. The Yahoo Fantasy actually called it. That the game was null and void, so I ended up winning. But I told the dude, like, not. But this is the funny thing, just like you said, Elliot. Like, no one in our league was just like we it didn't matter. It was like we were like, dude, whatever. Like, you know, we win money, we don't. It's like, what about the kid? You know, what about the kid's life? But
and the thing is that you know everybody in my fantasy league knows that when it comes down to brass tacks, I'm always going to do the right thing. Okay, and I'm not going to be swayed by what you think is the right thing. All right, and to me, it's like this: if the NFL called the game off, okay, and there was not going to be a makeup of it, then all scores as they stood determine the finality of everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, the guy that wound up winning my league. Won by 1.5. All right. Nobody made us think about it. Right. He had Josh Allen. The other guy had Dawson Knox. Honestly, if I could have taken it down and say, okay, so let's take Dawson Knox's average points and put Josh Allen's average points and add those to the score, and that'll determine the, you know, or I could have said, let's wait and use next week's stats that they get and apply them.
Yeah, but then it's week 18 and you don't know if they're going to even play.
Why go through all that nonsense?
Yeah.
Bottom line, look, if the situation was flipped, then you'd have somebody else that wasn't happy about it.
There was no winning.
Okay, so here's the thing. As commissioner, bottom line, it's unfortunate. Okay, and the result is what it is.
And nobody has ever had. This has never happened
it hasn't. It's a precedent-setting situation. I get
Correct.
it. Just
Correct.
like right now, the way they set up the playoffs is a precedent-setting situation.
Because if Buffalo and Kansas City meet, it's going to be neutral territory.
It's going to be in a neutral site.
Yeah. And I mean,
and what they're pushing for is a non-dome stadium.
Right, because both of the teams don't play in domes.
Both teams don't play in a dome.
Yeah. You know what? I want to give some kudos to people that we usually throw dirt at, and I think the NFL did a pretty good job, man.
They did a great job. They did a great job.
Like you said, unprecedented, never happened before, and people were already like, "You're trying to get them to play 5 minutes after." It's like, no one was going to play that. First of all, I know the coach of the Buffalo Bills, not know him personally, but I know the kind of guy he is. There's no way the Buffalo Bills were going to play that game after that. It wasn't going to happen. If they would have forfeited, they would have got the L. They still weren't going to play. It didn't matter.
Zach Taylor said the same thing.
Yeah, same thing in the pressers, right?
And like Zach Taylor also said, whatever Buffalo wants to do, I'm behind whatever it is.
Right. And so people like attacking the NFL, like the NFL was kind of thrown like a little bit of a curveball. Like, what do you do?
NFLPA came out flat and said that was a lie.
Try a knuckleball.
Yeah, it was a knuckleball. It wasn't even a curveball.
No,
I'm going to respond to Brett.
that
Brett
was a swervy screwball knuckleball situation.
Yeah. Brett, the reason why Indy can't host the AFC Championship is because they have already planned for a turf replacement after the end of the season, and that was why this. So there's no way a game could be played on their turf anyway.
And Detroit already had
scheduled it. It
well.
was planned way ahead of time, and there's no way that the stadium is going to be ready to host a game. So it wasn't Indy being sour grapes; it was already planned. So
I say go back to Soldier Field, baby. Let's go.
Nobody wants them to
play in Cleveland. Come on, we can play in Cleveland.
Play in Cleveland. Yeah, we're only a couple hours away. You know how many Bills Mafia would be in Cleveland?
I mean, they'll never get to see an AFC Championship game in Cleveland. So play.
There you go. Thanks, Elliot. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, it was just a miserable week, man, but it ended good, and I mean, it was never seen that stuff
in the end, you know who would have got the real bad hosing out of this whole thing?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, the Bengals got hosed, man.
Well, they put the kibosh on that when they beat the Ravens today, so that's not
right. Yeah,
and did anybody really love Joe Mixon's celebration with the coin toss?
I loved it.
It was great. And they're going against Baltimore next week, right? In the wild card.
Yes.
Oh, dude, they got the cakiest, easiest schedule out of everybody. Let's be honest. I mean, well, other than KC getting gifted that first seed, right? But it was what it is.
First round bye. Buffalo's getting Miami.
Yeah,
a Miami team that's not really impressive right now at all.
No, and Tua's probably not even going to be playing next week.
No.
So it's like
I'm
okay. I'm okay. I could see an upset because the AFC East teams always play Buffalo tough in Buffalo. You saw that today with the Patsies. So
but
I mean,
it's a whole different dynamic though.
Well,
with Miami.
Josh in the playoffs is a little different beast. So,
Miami kind of stumbled into the playoffs.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay.
They literally got a safety and a field goal to get into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't their stellar offense.
Actually, didn't they lose like their last 6 out of 7 or something like that?
It was pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's Jamal, by the way, guys, in case you want to know.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with Miami next week. That'll be fun. I hope we put up 50 burger on them just to shut them up.
And then the other game is what? Chargers at Jacksonville?
Chargers in Jacksonville.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Staley a complete freaking moron or what?
He had his whole team till the end of three quarters.
His whole team into the fourth. He even had Keenan Allen into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. When their position wasn't going to change no matter what happened in that game.
And I don't know.
Mike Williams hurt himself.
Yeah.
Did he really hurt himself?
Mike Williams got hurt. Yeah.
They had to cart him off the field.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yep. So now they're going to Jacksonville next week with a banged up, if at all, Mike Williams.
They play in Jacksonville, right? Because Jacksonville's the division winner.
So they got to travel east across the country, which is not a piece of cake for Western teams.
Right. Western teams have trouble with that. Yeah.
And Jacksonville is no joke at home.
Jacksonville's playing probably the best football right now of anybody.
Did you see their social media team last night?
We might have something different to say about that.
Dude, fantastic content. They were just trolling people. Like there was a guy who was like, "Oh, they gave Christian Kirk all this money, and then they gave Zay Jones all this money." It was pretty good. It was pretty good. So
we've even blasted the signing in the preseason.
Oh yeah,
when they signed Christian Kirk to that Houston, we're like, what the hell's going on here? Well, he's paid off for them, so it was a good deal as far as the Jacksonville.
I think the step is Trevor. Trevor's playing a lot better now. He's much more confident.
Well, that's because he has a valid coach. He's got a coach.
He's got Doug Peterson, right? So it's like, he's got a competent coach. Yeah.
And look at they started 3-7 for the season.
Everybody blasted right after they got in. Everybody was blasting Urban Meyer off of Jacksonville.
Yeah. Well, everybody knew Urban Meyer was the issue in Jacksonville last year.
And I just can't see how Brandon Staley could even qualify as being an intelligent coach. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's going in one man under. I mean, they finally got their offense back to where it should be, needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And
they got Bosa back healthy now too, so that's even better.
Yeah, but now you're missing Mike Williams. This is a big play dude, man. You know, and you're
crazy.
going on the road. It ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy going down to Jackson, Duval, and trying to beat them Jaguars.
It's good. It's good. It's good for Jacksonville, man. Because you know, there's one. You know, next. Well, Kansas City Chiefs fans are getting pretty annoying these days. Like they're pretty they're annoying as hell. But like Tennessee Titans,
are they approaching Patriots fans, or are they not?
Oh well, Patriots fans now. You almost like I was going to tweet this out. I was like, I almost feel sorry for the Patriots, but I really don't, because they put us through 20 years of misery. But like Kansas City is gotta be the Kansas City's the most annoying fans out there right now. Like they were literally bitching about getting. They were literally complaining about getting the first seed.
Yeah, just like that guy Brett, right? Yeah,
just like that guy Brett that roots for the tomahawk chop over here.
Tomahawk chop. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. It's gonna be fun. I don't know because we don't know when the schedule is, right? Like we don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday games.
Well, we know Saturday, Sunday, and there is.
We should know by the end of the night what it's going to be.
Monday night game too.
Yeah, there's a Monday night game too this week.
They should probably do Dolphins and Bills for Monday night. I don't know how many people are dying to see the Chargers and the Jaguars, but that'll probably be the
rumor is that it might be the Bucs and the Cowboys. That's the rumor. It'll be the Bucs and the Cowboys on Monday night.
Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Tom Brady against the Cowboys? Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
It's made for prime time.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Cowboys,
Ken made a comment on Twitter earlier. He says, talk about tapping out early.
I'm gonna tell you what. It ain't gonna be no piece of cake for them to go and win in Tampa either.
The Commanders, after getting rolled by the Browns last week, just rolled on the Cowboys this week. It just with a third string quarterback, no less.
Well, it just goes to show you that Dallas, outside of AT&T Stadium, is susceptible. Okay, they are beatable in a big way. And I'm sorry, but Dak Prescott is still a joke as far as I'm concerned.
He's overrated.
16 interceptions now.
Yes, he did. Well, Brett asked the question. I'm going to change something in just a bit. He asked if Chubb got the team's rushing record. What he did was become only the second running back in Browns history to hit the 1,500-yard mark, tying. And that he's joining Jim Brown in that record. But Jim Brown did it 3 times, so Chubb still has a way to go. But yeah, he did get his 1,500 yards for the season.
Yeah, and Jim Brown probably did it in 14 games?
Yes, correct.
Instead of 17?
Could be even 12 games for all I know. I mean, I don't know how many games they played back then.
Just like they mentioned today that Geno Smith beat Russell Wilson's record
with a 17-game season instead of a 16-game season. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know, so you're always going to get that talk. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, you know. But Cowboys rolling into the playoffs don't look like a team that
limping into the playoffs.
They're not scaring anybody.
They're limping.
You know who's not really scaring anybody right now either, especially the way they play today against second and third stringers?
Philly.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
They played their starting squad. And they struggled with the Giants, who played their second and third stringers.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm not convinced that Jalen Hurts is 100%.
I didn't even see the line on him, man.
Super cautious. I think he had 10 fantasy points.
Really?
This is the guy that averaged 25, 30 points a game.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, he was the reason I won, even though he didn't play the past 2 weeks. But the reason I had such a good record all year was because of this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And the way he looked today, he looked apprehensive. He looked like he didn't want to get hit. Stuff he would have took off on normally, he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's trying to protect that shoulder is what you're trying to say.
Exactly. And he's going to get an extra week off. But he's going to have to play the winner of, most likely the winner of Tampa and Dallas.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure who's going to, let's see, either the Packers or the Seahawks are going to wind up playing the 49ers.
Yes.
Okay. And the way the 49ers are playing right now,
no one's going to beat them at this point. I mean, they'd have to go to Philly, but even Philly would have trouble beating the Niners right now.
Minnesota's not a lock to beat the Giants either.
Oh, no, they're not at all.
Going for the G-men for sure.
Okay, so Philadelphia could wind up having to play the G-men again.
Yeah.
Because if they can beat Minnesota, then that puts Dallas, Tampa in the Frisco bracket.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts the Giants into the Philadelphia bracket.
Right.
Okay. So either way, I mean, right now, they're my team, but right now I think that San Francisco has to be the favorites in the NFC.
Oh, I'd say so.
They're just clicking on all cylinders. Offense,
even with Purdy at quarterback, the Mr. Irrelevant, who's been playing lights out.
Mr. Irrelevant has been more than relevant.
Correct.
What, 5 starts? He has a total of 11 touchdowns, I think. No, 12 touchdowns in 5 starts.
Yeah.
He's revived George Kittle this late into the season.
Kittle had 2 touchdowns today, so yeah, I would say so.
And with McCaffrey and Debo back, and the way Brandon Ayuk is playing,
yeah,
their offense is insane, dude.
They're getting healthy right at the right time, Elliot. They really are.
I mean, they're just gelling on both sides of the ball.
Agreed.
And they can easily go, even if Philly made it to the championship game, they could easily go in and beat Philly in Philly. Okay, so.
Yes.
Niners and Bills, yeah.
Let's go.
Chris
Berman Super Bowl, man.
Yes. A Chris Berman Super Bowl, that'd be great.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah,
it's 40 years. Finally get his wish.
After 40 years, he finally gets his wish.
I'm the only team I think the Bills will have trouble with in the NFC is the 49ers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're just solid on both sides.
They're solid everywhere, you know. And our secondary looks.
They're fun to watch too, Elliot. The Niners are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fun. They score.
Yeah,
they defend.
Bears are going to trade that one. I almost guarantee it. I almost guarantee that.
There's because really they don't need a quarterback, and that's who should be wanting to get. Just like I couldn't understand Houston winning so that they could lose the first round pick.
Well, the players never want to tank or lose a game. They want to win. That's what
I understand that, and that's what Lovie Smith said after the game that wouldn't fly. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing: is that if Chicago keeps the pick, then it's okay because Chicago's not going to take a quarterback.
They're going to go defense. They need to go defense. Yes.
They either go defense or they're going to go a wide receiver because their receiving core is not anything to write home about.
No,
but they'll get a ton of picks for that first overall.
And that's what I think is what they should do. But what's going to happen is the team that needs a quarterback is going to trade up to that spot.
Yep.
And Houston's going to wind up with, I don't know who the number one.
Well, you're gonna have C.J. Stroud and the kid from Alabama, Elliott. I forgot his name anyway. Those are supposedly the best 2 quarterbacks in the draft. C.J. Stroud from Ohio State and what's his face from Alabama.
How about the Georgia quarterback? Isn't he?
He's not really. No, he's not really highly touted.
Yeah. What about Bo Callahan from Wisconsin?
There you go, Bo Callahan. There you go. Yes.
Don't know. I don't. Who cares? And you jackholes watching the NCAA should be ashamed of yourselves, especially because all you guys are social justice.
NCAA championship game
tomorrow night. You know what? The Bears they're sitting pretty right now with that number 1.
Yeah, they are.
They can find
first time the Bears have had the first overall pick since 1947.
Mm-hmm.
But they're set up. Like, this is like the perfect setup for them because Justin Fields, they're obviously happy with.
Yes.
So they just need a team around him. They can get a whole boatload of picks, probably get some roster players from the trade too, and they'll be able to build. So yeah, man, Bears are great, man.
They're looking good.
It's the change of the
Brett.
tide. It's going to be the Lions and the Bears in because I don't believe in the Vikings. I'm sorry. I know they're
they're frauds, dude.
You know,
the Vikings
and
are
Green
frauds.
Bay's. You know,
I mean, is Aaron Rodgers even going to be back next year?
You know,
that's
so I think that's the changing of the guard, kind of like what we saw in the AFC East, man. We have ended the Patriots season twice in a row now, and I can't tell you how rewarding that feels.
Well, if Devontae Adams has anything to say about it, Aaron Rodgers will be in Las Vegas next season.
Yeah, how strange is that situation with Derek Carr being benched?
It's Josh McDaniels, man.
Writing on the wall, dude. Writing on the wall.
Goof troop. Him and Nathaniel Hackett were like the worst hires in the history of hires.
Derek Carr was not Josh McDaniels' guy. Let's put it that way.
No.
Why do you think
Jared Stidham is?
Yeah, Jared Stidham is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's stupidity. It's so dumb.
And the minute he saw an opportunity to bench Carr, and you knew Carr wasn't going to take that, basically lying down or sitting down or whatever. Okay, he decided, well, you know what? I'm out.
I'm going to walk away from the team. That's what he did. It was Carr's decision. It wasn't the team's decision. It was David. It was.
But here's the thing: Carr has had umpteenth amount of time to do something with that organization. He never did. They went out and got him one of the top 3 receivers in the league. And yeah, Devontae Adams got his. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people are going to say, oh, injuries. And say, no, I mean, just Derek Carr never lived up to what they needed him to do.
Well, you know, and he's had a clusterfuck for coaches the last few years too, with Gruden and Josh McDaniels.
But they had the right guy last year when they fired Gruden.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that came in for Gruden, right?
Right. And for some reason
the team was all in. Well, you know why? Because Mr. Dumb and Dumber haircut, Mark Davis. Mr. Fruit Bowl, freaking ball cut.
When are people going to admit that the Bill Belichick coaching tree just is not there? It's like people say Mike Vrabel, but Mike Vrabel wasn't a coach under him; he was a player under him.
Correct.
So look at the horrible Matt Patricia, Joe Judge. We got who else? We got Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
Who else? You know, just miserable coaches. So I don't get it. I'll never understand that love fest people have for the Belichick coaching tree, but
it's not even comparable to the Bill Walsh coaching tree, which was very successful.
Yeah, well, Bill Walsh had a foundation that was extremely successful.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Bill Walsh coaching tree, you've got the Chuck Noll coaching tree, which includes.
Doesn't Andy Reid have a tree as well?
Andy Reid has a tree, yes. I mean, Chuck Noll begat Tony Dungy, who's a Super Bowl winning coach, and I mean, it's just.
And kudos to Mike Tomlin for keeping his 19 years.
Oh, fuck you, Elliot. I'll just come out and say it. Sorry for the language, John, but fuck you, Elliot.
At one point early this season, when we were writing the eulogy on Mike Tomlin's record going down the tubes for the consecutive seasons of 500 or better.
Yeah, good for Mike. Good for Mike.
Yeah, but you know what? Thank you, Miami, for knocking Pittsburgh out of the playoffs. I really appreciate it.
Well, it wasn't Miami that knocked them out. It was the Jets.
It was. Yeah, it was.
It was the Jets' ineptitude that knocked them out.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest.
Yes,
okay?
yes. That's true. But
who was the quarterback today? Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Flacco. Yeah.
Joe Elite Flacco, right?
Yeah, he ain't so cool anymore.
He won that Super Bowl and then signed that contract, and people put him top tier, right?
Yep.
They put him top tier forever.
Flacco wasn't the reason they won that Super Bowl. It was the defense that won that Super Bowl. Give me a break.
Yeah. Worst coaching.
Kind of like Trent Dilfer wasn't the reason the Ravens won in 2000 either. Joe Flacco. Thank you, Brett. I'm going to use that from now on. Joe Flacco.
That's a good one.
I like
Joe
that.
Flacco. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one, Brett. So who? Okay, so help me out here. What seed now do the Kansas City? What they play the winner of the Chargers and the Jaguars, right? Because that's the lower tiered.
Unless
right?
one of the lower seeds wins, right?
Yes.
And then if we win, we'd have to play the Bengals or
the lowest
Ravens.
seed that wins plays Kansas City.
Right.
Whoever
so not the matchup.
Whoever the 2 seed is, or the 2 and 3 seeds are, they won't play against Kansas City. So
right. So that's us. That's us and the Bengals.
That's you guys.
So we'll probably if we beat Miami next week and the Bengals beat Baltimore, we'll play the Bengals in Orchard Park.
You'll host Bengals, and Kansas City would host
probably the Chargers. Really? Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
I like Jacksonville in that game. To be honest, I do. I like Jacksonville.
Bills get.
And then it all comes down to now: if Kansas City and Buffalo win, then of course it's the neutral site thing,
which is fantastic. Let's go. No more Arrowhead for us.
If Jacksonville can upset Kansas City, then Orchard Park gets the Jaguars. If the Bills can hang on.
Which I'm here for. Yeah.
Cincinnati.
I mean, that's looking forward. Obviously, we got to take care of business and beat Miami next week.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm pretty confident in our.
Miami has not impressed. The only really good game that Miami played in the last month and a half was the one in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, yeah.
But that was a whole different situation. Right now, they just
Tyreek Hill got banged up today too. He hurt his ankle.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But see, this is the thing, man. Like, I don't think they're going to play Tua, and this is why. If something happens to him, he could perhaps die. And what happened this past week, they're not going to take any chances. So Miami's under the pressure of, do we try to? We'll sit Tua. We'll put our best foot forward. We're not going to play for this year. We're going to play for next year, because putting Tua in that position, dude, and if he gets another concussion, that's 4 in 1 year, bro. That can't be good for the noggin. Like, start having to feed him out of a straw, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's what I would think. I would think Miami, and I hope they've got a little bit of, looking forward. I don't know. And yeah, like you said, like Tyreek hurt his ankle. Did he even come back after that or no?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but it was briefly. He was trying to fight through it the whole game. So.
Well, you can't.
It's going to be interesting. But the best part about it is, Kansas City got the bye, but they're not going to get home field in the championship game.
No, they won't.
Unless the Bills get knocked out.
Yeah. Unless Buffalo gets knocked out, then they get it. But, and that's fine. I mean, this was again going back to our original topic with Demar. Like, when all that stuff was going on, like, this was Bill's Twitter. Like, we don't care. We don't care about the first seed. We don't care. We don't care. We'll play anyone. We just want to make sure Demar's okay. That was the entire theme. So we're okay with whatever, man. We're playing at home now for the next 2 if we win the next one, and then
yes.
Which is what you want, right? You want that in the playoffs. Yes. You want to play in front of your home crowd. And
correct.
Hopefully,
you're probably going to have to go through Miami and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
To get to that.
Miami and Cincinnati will be probably, because I don't see Baltimore beating Cincy.
Even with
Lamar.
Right. Even with Lamar Jackson.
Did you see that? Did you see Sammy Watkins doing Sammy Watkins things at the end of that game?
Yeah.
The fumble, that's just the kind of. I don't know why, and I know you're gonna love this, Scott. I don't know why the Baltimore Ravens don't invest in some wide receivers for the love.
You mean like the youth movement of Deshaun Jackson and Sammy Watkins? You don't like that?
The youth, yeah. Glass Joe Sammy, Glass Jawed Sammy, and then
and then Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson, like, dude, that guy was playing in like Madden
38
2000,
right now,
bro.
Dude.
Wasn't he on the cover of Madden 2002? Like, I mean,
he might have been. You never know.
I don't know.
It's crazy. Good stuff.
And then
Anything
the
other
Cowboys reviving T.Y. Hilton. That's another one.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Just. I heard Terrell Owens was gonna like ready to go too.
Well, Ocho Cinco's volunteering too. So I mean, come on,
bro. Like, just right off to the sunset, guys. You know,
the Geritol Bowl.
Yeah.
The Geritol Bowl.
Just give me a second. I think my dog sees another coyote, so I'm gonna go let her out.
Go get it. Get it, girl. Get it. Let's go.
What's that one? Andrew Gonzalez.
Who's Andrew Gonzalez?
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, she's barking, man. She's barking.
The little one's barking
my
too.
first cousin, Carlos' son. So he's, second cousin, I guess.
Hey.
Cousin.
Come here. Hey. Gosh, I'm gonna mute myself while this stupid little thing barks.
John asked me what else is going on.
My dog all riled up now.
What else? Well, Jacksonville last night was just phenomenal. I love the way they just manhandled Tennessee.
They didn't manhandle them. Okay, and in the end, it was the inability of Josh Dobbs.
Well, yeah, and the defense stepped up with that last play, that last pick, that fumble.
Because I'll tell you what, the Jacksonville offense was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they only had to have like one total yard in the fourth quarter, so they were inept in the fourth quarter. They played one of the worst quarters.
Travis Etienne was what, 7 carries for 17 yards?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
You're not going nowhere with that kind of performance.
Right.
Okay, they damn near blew that game against Tennessee.
Yep.
Okay, so they can't get, how should I say, complacent?
Nope.
I understand the Chargers are not coming in strong, so to speak.
Right.
But they're still the Chargers, and they can surprise some people.
Well, they would, with Justin Herbert under center. I mean, they're dangerous. So even
but they also have to understand that if they win, they're going to have to go to Kansas City.
Yes.
Okay. So Jacksonville needs to start playing whatever ball they think they can play to get to where they want to go this week. They can't play the way they played against Tennessee. Because they almost got beat by Josh Dobbs.
Right. What are you going to say, John?
That ain't going to happen with Patrick Mahomes.
It's just dog losing her mind, running after something out there. So it's great.
Yeah, and Sean Payton had an interview this afternoon on his possible return to the NFL. I didn't see the interview, but what I found interesting is what I was reading about was that he's already said that he's had a conversation with Broncos ownership. Isn't that a violation of league policy? Because supposedly they can't do.
Not if the team who has his rights or has allows the conversation.
Well, New Orleans has given permission for the Broncos to talk to Peyton, but they can't talk to him in person until the 17th of January. That came out today earlier. So I'm assuming that maybe it was a phone call. Maybe it was a phone call or a FaceTime thing that they talked to him. They didn't actually talk to him in person. So maybe that was.
Now, if he was an active coach, that'd be a different story.
Right.
But he's a retired coach.
But he's still under contract with New Orleans through 2025.
I understand that. But if New Orleans gives permission for them to talk, then there's nothing wrong with that.
But he had contact with them before New Orleans gave him permission. That's what I'm saying.
What kind of contact, though?
Yeah, was it a phone call or was it a video call?
Was it a talk between agents or representatives?
Yeah. Right, I don't know.
Was it to lay some kind of,
Was it an email?
It could have been anything. Is there anything out there that's showing any kind of deception whatsoever? Is the question.
Yeah. Well, if there was, the league would probably come down on that.
And if there was, New Orleans probably would have made us think about it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And they would have shut down this permission thing immediately.
Right.
All right. But once again, kudos to Tennessee for starting 7-3 and going 7-10.
Gotta love it.
Oh, and by the way, really, Malik Hooker, I just don't see that guy being anything. I think their quarterback situation is dire at best moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Scamahill ain't going to be nothing to hang your hat on. Well, the Broncos, let's put it this way. The interesting position that the Broncos are in is that they can only go up from the previous coach.
Right. Right.
Another genius hire.
They can't get any worse than what they just had.
On a side note, this is Browns related, guys. Bernie Kosar had been doing radio for the Browns, the pregame show all season long. He was fired today by the Cleveland Browns. The reason why is
did he piss on the elf or something?
No. The reason why is because Bernie was stupid enough to advertise the fact that he was making a bet on the Browns today. And per league policy, if you are connected with if you are employed by the NFL, you are not allowed to bet on games. And so, despite the fact Bernie being beloved and an icon in Cleveland, the Browns were forced to release him today. Not release him, but let him go. So, I mean, it was a radio gig. And he still has a podcast with Hanford Dixon, who was a member of the old school.
Didn't somebody else get bounced for a year for?
Yeah, there was who was it? It was an assistant coach, I think. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was Miles Austin.
Yes.
The Giants, right?
Yeah, I think so. Andrew is in the house. I guess his ears were burning. He says, Carlos Gonzalez, your team came in last. And then
he's referring to fantasy bullshit.
Yep. And also Carlos is in the chat. He's the one that said, but you do, Andrew. So it's
hey guys, you're in the wrong place to be arguing your little petty fucking fantasy bullshit.
I know, right?
Go back to the page.
I like it.
It's a father and son, and they go at each other all the time.
That's healthy.
All the time.
That's healthy. The only problem is that me and my son always win our fantasy leagues now, so we're gonna rename it the Olsen Cup. I like it.
It's funny. Last year, Carlos lost. Carlos was in the championship game, right?
Yep.
And he lost on the play where the Cleveland Browns couldn't tackle Najee Harris with time running out.
Oh, Jesus.
That last fucking touchdown that Pittsburgh scored. I was already ready to congratulate him, type up all the freaking, all the stuff. And all of a sudden, Najee Harris just split through. All they had to do was take a knee. But they stuck it to the Browns. Najee Harris took off and he lost on that play. And he's been bummed ever since. Yeah, I agree with you. Niners right now look unstoppable. But we'll see. We either got to play these Green Bay guys or Seattle next week. History shows that Green Bay does not do well against San Francisco, so I'm not even worried about the Packers.
Well, the Packers have to travel to San Francisco too, so.
Yeah, exactly. And so does Seattle. Look, Seattle had a tough time beating the Rams today.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield led Rams.
Baker, man. Jeez. It's rough, brah. It's rough.
And Brock the Rock Purdy, he ain't fucking around.
Brock the Rock Purdy.
Damn right.
Brock the Rock.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
He's the man right now. He ain't so irrelevant anymore, is he?
Who, The Rock?
Mr. Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
He's not so Mr. Irrelevant anymore.
He's not that irrelevant guy that was tagged with the Mr. thing.
I mean, other than him, who was that other? There was like a kicker, right? For years and years and years, who was Mr. Irrelevant. I think he's even still in the league. That was like the last relevant Mr. Irrelevant.
I don't know.
It's a kicker. I think he's still in the league right now. He's a punter. Not a punter, a place kicker. My gosh, now I'm going to
trivia
Google
question.
it. Yeah.
Great trivia question, isn't it? So, what do you think it would be for
Ryan
Detroit?
Stuckup. There you go.
Ryan Suckup, who's the kicker for the Buccaneers.
There you go. So you diehard Bucks fan here. How does he not know this, right?
I don't know. I don't know useless trivia, so it is what it is.
I just always look for Mr. Irrelevant, and then I think of like
Well,
notable
Browns
selections. It's like Brock
Speaking of
Purdy,
useless
Ryan
trivia.
Stuckup.
I heard that, Elliot. I'm going to ignore it.
What did he say? I didn't even hear him. What did he say? I like it.
He says, "Well, I know. I told you I don't know irrelevant. I mean, I don't know bad. What is the word? What is the word I used for? I don't know that kind of trivia, but he goes, well, Browns trivia,
Useless trivia.
useless trivia. Yes.
No lies
Browns
detected.
trivia, that's pretty useless.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, let's before we get out of here, let me. What are you feeling about your Browns? Because
I'm
obviously,
not feeling about the Browns right now.
Yeah?
I have no comment.
You guys are stuck. You guys are stuck with Deshaun now for like.
I have no comment at this time. I'm just gonna say.
Well, I just it was the end of the season. Like what have you changed allegiances yet, or are you still just You're still a Browns guy.
I'm
You're
still
gonna
Browns
go down
fan,
with
man.
that ship, man.
Go down with that ship. I've been going down with that ship for
Well,
50
you know what? I'm gonna hold off commentary on that because once Deshaun gets a reset and he gets to start after training,
he has shown signs of his old self the last 7
towards
games.
the end he did. You know what I'm saying? I think the Browns have bigger issues than Deshaun Watson to worry about.
Well, the Browns finished 4-3, or is it 4-2? maybe the Browns finished. They went 3 and they went. What is it? They went 4-7 their first 10 games, and finished the season 4-3. So we'll see. Well, Jake Paul can go. Never mind. He is the social media representative for the Browns, and that's just a big joke.
Oh,
hey man, we had Drake for the Raptors, so
Yeah, same thing. Nobody cares.
You guys got Jake Paul.
Yeah, they hired Jake Paul, but yet fire Barney Kosar. So
and
yeah,
Logan is the one that hangs out with WWE.
Yes.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Speaking of WWE,
well, dude, it's exciting, man. Your Browns are going to be an interesting watch over the offseason. See if they get some of them picks back.
Yeah, just can't wait.
Might have to pull a draft day miracle.
Well, with the Browns finish, the Texans not only have the second overall pick, but now they have the 12th pick as well. So
perfect.
Yeah. So you're welcome, Houston.
Hey, that was the brainchild. What was it? 240 million guaranteed?
230.
230. Okay. Give or take 10 million. Okay.
Yeah. I expect.
How many years?
I think it was 4 or 5. I'm not sure.
Was that almost as boneheaded as trading your future for Russell Wilson?
I'm not ready to write Russell Wilson off yet.
No,
I think
Denver looked good today, actually, with Russell.
They had a horrible coach.
I think once Hackett left is when you saw a little bit of improvement in Russell Wilson.
And he's got 2 really good weapons in Sutton and Judy. like really good, and then
Not
you're
to
gonna
mention
get
that Greg
you're gonna get the
Dulcich, the tight end, Greg Dulcich.
well. Also, the running back got hurt in like week 2.
Yeah, he's got Javonte Williams coming out.
Williams,
They got
right?
Chase Edmonds.
Right. So I'm not writing the Broncos off next year. I think Russell Wilson specifically. I think it was just a down year, horrible coach, like world, like you know, up there with like the world's worst hire.
He just stop saying "let's ride." That's all I'm saying. Just stop saying that. Just stop saying that.
Yeah. I guess.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Good to be back, guys. Good show. It is 8:30. We are the Sports Nerds, and we will be back again next Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time. Once again, Happy New Year to the Nerd Nation. John, I will send you the recording.
Thanks, man.
And I wish all of you a good night and hearts for Demar Hamlin.
Love for Demar.
Love for Demar,
man.
All right, and we're out of here. Elliot, play the outro.
Go Bills.
Niners.
Go Jags.
And Niners. Niners, Bills, Super Bowl. Let's go.
It makes for an interesting show.
Dude, I won't. If that happens and we lose, I'm never going to talk to Elliot again. So. Just saying.
Wasn't the audio just playing a little bit ago?
Yeah, you did get it once. So.
I can sing it. Do you want me to sing it?
No. Hang on. I got it. Time out, fellas. Get a man a break. It's 2003. I ain't been healthy yet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's fine. Here we go. And
well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right, and his co-host, John Olsen, Tim Costco, lovable members in the Rat Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. And for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rat Pack. And with that, fellas, we are